Hi, namaste, and welcome to the Age of Aquarius. And we are going to just learn a lot about these theories that I've always been overwhelmed about and didn't really understand. So I'm on the road to share some of the things that I've been, investigating and learning, and, it's the theories of just how energy works and how the higher frequencies work and the lower frequencies. So I first wanted to say, I wanted to dedicate this to everyone. I mean, we're all here doing something with our soul, and I want to dedicate this to Jeffrey Green, Margaret Dibogia, the Tibetan master, the Alice Bailey, Philip Lindsay, and Michael Robbins, and Linda, no, okay, everyone though. Anyways, so just bear with me because I'm new at like sharing screens. So we have just entered the age of Aquarius, and it's a very, very long cycle, and we're just like kind of moving right into it right now. And I do want to say, if anybody has any questions, like this is interactive, so if there's anything you have a question about, please feel free to ask or let Linda know, and she'll let me know, because I want to make sure everybody understands what we're talking about. And this is just the theories of, we'll go into that in a little bit, but so hopefully, I hope this is all true, but we all know we're living kind of in some dark ages and some really difficult and interesting times. And I really do hope that the spiritual elite will guide humanity and we will be one soul living in harmony. That's yet to remain to be seen, right? Okay, so we are actually on the cusp. So we're shifting from the Piscean age over to the Aquarian age. And until it's like 21-17, we won't be fully into it. So the first thing is, what is esoteric? And that means something veiled or hidden, or something that's not like necessarily seen, but it's just like known to some people. And it's for the select few that have knowledge of it or interest. So to me, I hope this is really true because it explains the polarization that we're all living in. And it says that the people who are still in the paradigm of Pisces, they're like kind of with the consensus stage. And the people in the spiritual path, we're kind of responding to the Aquarian, the rays coming down and the energies coming down. So of course, we have the root races and evolution. And Jeffrey Green was one of the first brilliant, he's a master in my mind that came up with the evolutionary astrology. And this is just another way of looking at it. And when I put them both together, I thought, wow, this is amazing. So, these are just the yugas, and we're like really seriously like in the Kali Yuga. So we're really, still in the dark ages to some point. So of course, this is Helen Blavatsky, and she's a very famous Russian philosopher. And she was very instrumental in bringing all this to us. And she wrote the Secret Doctrine and a lot of the letters, and she would say things like, I really like this because it's so, apropos. Don't be afraid of your difficulties. Do not wish you could be in another circumstance than you are. And now it stands proven that Satan, or red fiery dragon, the Lord of Phosphorus, or Lucifer, the light bearer, is in us. It's in our mind. So, wow, that was like really gives me chills. It's like profound. And then she also said that man's chief difficulty, which prevents men of science to believe in the divine nature, is the materialism. So there's some basic principles, and the universe is worked and guided from within outwards. And the whole order of nature evinces a progressive march towards a higher life. So we're just going to look a little bit at her. We're not going to really do her chart, but we'll look at some people's chart. I think what I'm going to do is go through the slides and come back to some of the chart, because there's a lot of information to cover here. So anyways, I really just, it's so interesting because in esoteric astrology, there's rays and certain planets are hidden. And Leo is only Leo. Leo's Leo in the exoteric and the esoteric. So I notice a lot of Leo people, a lot of Leo energy, and a lot of the cardinal energy, or a lot of the spiritual people that I've been looking at have this. So if you don't know her, she's the Russian occult philosopher. She was born in the 1800s, and she's she was like one of the first. She was a woman who did this, like it was unheard of. So she was a very famous person. And here we have Alice Bailey, and she was like downloaded a lot of this information from DK, which we'll go into in a little bit. And we're going to look at her a little bit. So she basically was unhappy. She broke away from her environment when she was 22. She was a very unhappy as a youth, and she married Walter Evans, and they, studied the occult, and she was a social worker, and she made contact with the Tibetan 2 years later, and she founded the Arkan School, or the Arkan School. Her second marriage was to Foster Bailey, and they organized an international goodwill movement together. And now they had this in 19 countries. Alice and Bailey wrote 30 metaphysical books and on ancient teachings, and she died in 1949. So, I mean, we could look really quick at this chart, but I definitely see, she's got Leo on the rising and on the cusp right over here. And then you guys have to know too, a lot of times the planets, they might be different for esoteric planets than they are for exoteric. And we're going to go more into that. But exoteric is more like regular astrology that deals with personality and psychology. And esoteric is more involved with the soul. And as you see, she's a third substage kind of spiritual evolution condition. And she was a direct channel for DK. So as you can see, she's got Mercury and Cancer in the 12th house. That's the house of channeling. And she's got Mars there, right? 8 degrees of Mars in Leo. And then she's got, this is a sacred flame. And then she also has Jupiter in a fire sign. So I think that's really interesting. And her Chiron conjuncts Neptune in Taurus. So she's grounding this oneness and this mystical and esoteric energy she's able to bring down. Okay, so look at the beautiful diamond, or she's got the shape in her chart, how it's all for the, it's all what she's birthing and how she's going to give it to mankind. Does anybody have any questions?
Hi, Lauren, it's Linda.
Hi.
I don't have a question, but that is a bucket shape. It's beautiful. So everything is from the moon right across to Jupiter is in a bowl.
Yes.
And North Node is the handle to the bucket. So it is a focus. Everything goes through that North Node. And it's in what sign?
I have it here. It says North Node is in Capricorn.
It's in Capricorn. Capricorn.
Yeah, and it shows the destiny, and she's shining like a diamond. So to me, it looks like a diamond bucket,
Absolutely.
But the is the thing that's pointing to this. So you're right. Everything is going through that, and she's a Capricorn. So she's able to have that authority to bring it in, to do it. And it's her Dharma in the 6th house, right?
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I like you guys talk, so I'm not just sitting here talking to myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, so the master and the disciple. So this is really interesting because, I don't know, this guy's energy is just amazing. Like in meditation, I really feel like this is just a very amazing information that I have found. And he's a second ray master, and he is the Tibetan, and he has taken his 5th major initiation. And this was before the turn of the century, right? He helped Madame Blavatsky to write this profound book, The Secret Doctrine. So they're saying here that these could have been some of his past lives, Kuthumi, and I don't know if it's really Maitreya, but I mean, it says some of his incarnations, that he was a pharaoh of Egypt in the Pythagoras days, the three wise men from the east to the west, the infant Jesus, St. Francis of Assisi, and the Emperor of India who built the Taj Mahal. So that is quite a, quite a feat. I mean, a lot of this information that I'm saying, I don't really have any proof. I don't have, but I've picked this up from many different sources. So just see how things resonate and feel for you. It's just, I think it's interesting, and it is something I want to subscribe to. So he is really amazing, the Tibetan master, and he says it's important to have an enlarged channel, and the energy field surrounding your body contains a complete record of your strengths and imperfections. Yeah, like the Akashic records, but it's actually right here in our aura, right? So the errors of your evolutionary growth and process or negative karma creates emotional and mental blockage in your aura field. This limits and distorts your ability to receive clear soul impressions, higher energies, and even cloud your own ability to receive accurate information from your peers. So somebody could be talking like ABC, and you're reading it like GHI, So in addition, these emotional mental blockages create blockages in your own field, and they could impair our health, and it's blocked chi and life force. So, I have a background in Oriental medicine, and I'm an acupuncturist, and I do a lot of work with the chakras. And of course, we all get sick, or we get affected from the outer before it reaches the inner. So, and they're a little bit finer frequencies, because I would say like our chakras kind of aren't our antennas, but they have multiple different, they're kind of like my antennas, because like when something's going on and I don't feel right, I feel it in my solar plexus or my heart. So it's like they kind of are like, it's our own little instruments for letting us know what's going on. If something just doesn't feel right, then maybe something's not right. So the blockages also create a barrier between the light of your own soul, and the light invoked by prayers and invocation can either be deflected, and these emotional and mental energies or blockages can be distorted by them. Yeah, like it seems like sometimes like the evil forces or the negativities are trying to get you, I don't know if you guys ever had that, but I've had so much computer problems, like 1.5 days when I'm making this presentation, but yay, the light won. Okay, so, okay, okay, so in the process of refining our own vehicle or our own overall vibration or karmic patterns, these are from prior lives, and, leaving you with a clear field and able to, receive energy that's not distorted. That's what we all want to do. That's why we want to be quiet and still, and to really be able, like the small intestine, to take the good food and leave the rest. That goes to another department. So these are karmic patterns, and they're lived out by attracting events or situations that, let me just move this, yeah. Or negative events. And okay, so a lot of times we will attract these things because of our past, and they're lower frequencies that will manifest in illness. So we have to build a bridge to our soul. We have to be of service to the planet, and we have to become an anchor point for transmission of vital energies, because we need to purify our own soul, and that will help purify the planet. And the reason why I'm even giving this talk is because, it's just been, it's like, first of all, like consciousness like expands and it cannot go back, number one. Number two, we're living in times where I don't even know how to function in this world anymore, really. So I really want to learn how to deal with what's going on in my higher self, so I could, be a big player here, because my soul came here to do something. And we're going to look at this a little later, but this guy, Ronald Tiggle, PhD, he has this whole meditation on that I'm not my mind, I'm not my body. And we'll go into that later when I give some ideas on how to, give some idea on what we can do to, make ourselves the best. So this is it, and we can come back to it more later. But yeah, because there's a field out here, and we're part of the field. And we'll just go into this more later. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. So the soul, that's imperishable, perpetual existence that takes repeated cyclic embodiments in male or female bodies and in varying cultures. Part of its purpose is to expand consciousness and to work out karma. And so this is esoteric evolution according to, you know, Madame Blavatsky and Alice Bailey from the Tibetan. So there's 3 wheels, and there's just 3 different angles. So, you know, Jeffrey Green's like the consensus, the spiritual, the individuated state. So these are the stages. The first is the wheel of incarnation, of ordinary evolution. Then there's a period of captivity where man is bound up in the wheel, you know, like going around and around, doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? And then there's a fourfold influence of the common cross, life in 3 worlds, and the development of personality. So I think there's a mutable, fixed, and a mutable, fixed, and cardinal cross. So we're going to get into that a little bit later too. So the other wheel is like adjusted or reversed wheel. So this is the cycle of a discipleship. So we are on a different path totally. We're in a whole different paradigm than the consensus. So we will be, our soul's doing something else here, okay? And it's a period of emergence, and the revolution of the wheel, it's going to actually go from, instead of going one way, we're going to stop at Libra and we're going to go back the other way. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's the influence of the fixed cross, which is Scorpio, and I think it's Scorpio and Leo. Life in the 5 roles of superhuman evolution and the unfoldment of the soul through the personality. And the third one is the wheel controlled or dominated the cycle of initiation. This is a period of liberation from work of the great wheel. Fourfolded influence of the cardinal cross, life in 7 worlds of our 7 planes, fusion of spirit, soul, and personality. And this is total alignment. When we're aligned with our monad, we are totally aligned with our soul's purpose and how we function and what we put into our body. Like our vibrations are kind of all at the highest point, not like one's really good and one's polarized and wow, you know, I'm still in this pattern, can't break it. Any questions? Okay, no one has questions. Okay. So this is a little bit more oh yeah, how come we can't see this? Wait, okay, well, I think the history of the soul is sealed up in,
Lauren,
yeah?
The numbers are 1, 4, 8, and 11.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so these are the signs of will, desire, human expression, and the Christ principle of initiation. So Cancer is the door, like we all walk through the mother. Like we're birthed through the mother, head first, through her. Like, so the energy comes down and it goes up, and we're birthed through our head, through her opposite side, right? So it's like really kind of cool. Like she's giving life to us, you know? So the Cancer is the door too for incarnation, and it closes relation through Scorpio, Neptune, and Mars, both of whom are expressed of the 6th ray, I think, which is harmony through conflict. Now in Cancer, you have the devotion of the soul to such an extent that the urge to manifest overcomes all urges. So you will create and manifest with like your whole heart, and you be like, you can get through obstacles big time. In Scorpio, the same spirit of devotion, which is based on a sense of duality and the need to go towards that which is, you can see what this is. Towards which is not the self. So we're like attracted to things that are not really us or what we want to do, but it reverses the direction towards the direction and the urge for liberation. Its desire is to thread the path of return. Old identification ceases. Spiritual identification begins to appear, and Neptune and Mars begin to play their part. So this is interesting too, because we just sometimes have desires and desires and desires till we exhaust our desires. And that's like when we're on the path to going somewhere, because you just don't have desires for what the average person does. The fourth sign that plays a dominant part of the life of man is the sun in Scorpio with Scorpio rising. So Aries is the cardinal cross, initiating impulsive life. Cancer, the cardinal cross. They have like a focused impulse in this incarnation. Scorpio, fixed cross, reversing, and impulse. It's return. So you'll start out one way and turn out totally different by the end of your life. Or some people might just stay and it's like an evil, like it's going to just be kind of like, or just a steady, Scorpio will be like totally polarized, And Aquarius is a fixed closed group of impulsive and service to humanity. Okay, so in esoteric astrology, stages of the path: physical man, emotional man, mental man, man of the aspirant, man of the disciple, and man of the initiate. And then we have soul evolution, which reminds me of Jeffrey Wolf Green. So evolutionary states of the soul, I don't know if I'm going to read every little thing here, but we all know that there's a consensus state. And I always say they're like cows with bells on, but they kind of are just conformatory to like whatever is the social norm. And then they just go through stages where they're getting a little bit of awareness, but maybe they just want to just pretend like they don't have it, And then there's the individuated state. And it's about growth and feeling, growing alienation and realizing a lot of things. And there's confusion, and it's based in fear, but it does open the mind. And there's all these subdivisions. So, and then in the spiritual state, there's a surrender to the universal's truth, growing awareness of timeless identity associated with Neptune. Key words are humility, awakening, disillusionment, and service. The first subdivision individually is humility. I gotta just drink a little something. Okay, so where was I? So the second division is various stages of cosmic consciousness, strong soul awareness, spiritual ego, and the light of truth like purifies us. Like it's like we had a fall from grace, but then it's like something else is like totally like keeping us or guiding us. And then there's a third subdivision, absolute devotion to attunement to serve creation, aligning the individual ego with all of creation, unassuming and humble points the finger to God. Soul behavior and teachings are consistent. Teachings are timeless and universal, growing in influence for the masses. So Jeffrey, back in the day, like some people didn't even know what to make of his theories, but he was like, he originated this. And to me, it's brilliant and genius, everything that he has realized, because we get so stuck in the emotional astral plane. We have basically it's a slow, steady evolution. And we just have some kind of desire to evolve beyond wherever we're at. It's just like human. Does anybody want to add anything, Linda?
Well, this is interesting. We could just take it slowly and just, read each one slowly. So the first one, the soul recognizes its psychological fixations and wishes to evolve beyond them. The second one is a catalyst. Something has to happen, a traumatic event of some kind that enforces change. The third one is a latent gift or ability that the soul already has, and that was not accessible to the soul. The soul was unaware of this gift, and so it comes out. And the fourth one, steady and gradual evolution based on interest and curiosity. The soul develops a relationship with something outside of itself that then has the effect of catalyzing a level of self-awareness. Well, very interesting. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's like the right. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So,
Lauren, I had a question.
okay.
Do you think that, is it possible to exist in between those evolutionary stages, like I guess you say maybe on the cusp or on the precipice of, say, the individuated and the spiritual stage, or really any one of them, but
Well, I'm sure there are, like, sometimes it could be a sudden thing that shifts you. Other times, maybe we are, because some people have more of a gradual path, and some people, once you're enlightened to some extent, you're able to make decisions. Like, to me, I always say that, there's a difference between consciousness and awareness, because you could be aware of something, but you don't do anything about it. But consciousness means that you change. You change to meet that. You meet that. And then of course we're going to have, like, your personality or your mind or whatever is lurking is going to resist, because resistance is part of the path. Like, I mean, people have habits and conditioning patterns, and a lot of these things have to be broken to be totally aligned. I mean, it would be so easy just to leave this planet. If we were able just to come here and just do it, we wouldn't have to like deal and struggle and have challenge. And that's our personality, and that's what, and our moon and our personality, our sun and our moon. And in esoteric astrology, which we'll go into a little bit later, it's the ascendant that's important, and the ascendant energies, because it's the moon and the sun. It's the negative parts of those that we need to learn how to live with, but not let it be in charge. I don't know if that explains it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Lauren, yeah, actually, yes, we definitely do evolve through the cusps. And
She meant the cusp of the house.
yeah, the cusps. Oh, was she talking about houses or evolution?
No, not houses, but evolutionary states. Like, I kind of feel like, I'll use myself as an example. I kind of feel like I'm right on that cusp of the individuated and the spiritual, because I have that fear of being sucked back in, and then I can kind of move through it and see the all is one, and how everything is connected. But I feel like I'm going back and forth through that door.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And it's like, yeah, definitely we are on the cusp, because, like, we see things, but we actually don't, like, we don't really want to do it 100%. It's like, put your right foot in, put your right foot out. Like, sometimes we want to just put the whole body in and the whole body out. But I think it takes a while sometimes just to evolve. And that happens through each lifetime. The things that we do, we come here with gifts from the South Node and things that we just innately have. And when the seeds of karmic, karma is good and bad. It's not just bad. And things just have a seed that can be opened. And what we do with it, that's what happens. And then each lifetime, I think we either are going one way to the wheel or we're going the other way, And I think that's why the wheel of, incarnation goes around and around, and we are very old souls by the time we liberate. We just don't want to do it anymore. But yeah, I definitely feel that. And I think there's so many possibilities, because everyone's chart is unique. Everyone's placement's unique. Everything's going on. Retrograde planets, I call them like the dancers, like they're going to go back and forth. It's not just a straight shoot to the moon, It's not like a fast track to enlightenment. Now, some lifetimes, I think you can get a boost. Like, things happen, and like, and you're living it, and you're thinking it's happening in your ego. And for me, this has happened in ways, and I thought it was going one way, but it was really for a whole different reason that was beyond my comprehension at the time that it was happening. I thought it was happening for desire, or for, but I just think there's something larger than us that has a different plan. And when we wake up and we understand it, we can become one with the source, So do you guys, any comments, any guys or girls? Okay, so looking at Jeffrey's chart, I didn't have like a lot of time to do everything because like I said, I had major issues with my computer and doing some kind of loop with email and identification and all this. But anyway, let's let that go. So, but he's got like, and Linda, anybody jump in when I'm done. Like I said, I wasn't able to do all the work I wanted to, but just check out his chart. I'm not going to do this in a linear way, but his chart's amazing. He's got like the two most powerful planets in Leo on the top of his chart, and the ninth house of Guru, you know. And he also has a lot of stuff coming through the North Node in Gemini. And actually Gemini in esoteric astrology is Venus. So we'll be talking about these. He's got Uranus, which is the higher octave of Gemini, and it's the seventh Aquarian ray. It's ray 7. And it's, look at this, he's so evolved. He's got all the Scorpio coming from the 12th and the first house. He's got, what did I even write? Oh, The Freedom of the Known, right? He wrote that book, and he invented the school of evolutionary astrology and he was downloaded himself with this information. And he's got Neptune, the moon in Neptune. He's like a channel and it's in the 4th house. So it's like all these, like he's like, I would say he's the world's mother, even though he's the world's father. But mother and father is just our left and our right. It's all one, right? It's the triad. So this is all about the triad. And with the Scorpio, it's the house of the occult, right? He's got Venus, Mercury. He's got, is that Juno? I mean, yeah, that's Juno. And his South Node in Sag, he brought his son in the South Node. He brought this back from another life. Come on, he's here to share it with the world, and whether the world is ready or not for it, this is what he gave as his gift, his life here. Let's see what else. He also has Neptune in Gemini. What did I write? Yeah, so, and I think, yeah, does anybody have anything else to add to Jeffrey Green's chart that may have known him? I didn't personally get to meet him. I've been to several workshops, and I have a lot of his material. I know Linda, you might know him, or.
I'm sorry, did you ask something?
Anything else to add? I mean, I didn't really delineate the chart as, in detail as I wanted to, but
well,
if you have
it's just his chart. What I see here, definitely, I have seen all of this. I've observed and correlated, and definitely, so that Saturn, Pluto in the 9th house, a great teacher up there on the midheaven, and all that Scorpio, going deeper, so much deeper than anyone else I know. and I love what you said, that he is not, he is really the spiritual mother. I thought that's interesting. I've never heard that said before, but that really makes a lot of sense. And he does have moon skip steps, and resolved through that South Node in Sag, which I think he's done a wonderful, resolved that really wonderfully. Yeah. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for adding that. Yeah. No, I think he is the world's mother. He is so, I mean, he's a world mother and father, because it's all one. And look at how his moon he's got such an interesting chart. I love his chart. I mean, we all know that nobody's life is easy because we're human, but he's amazing, amazing individual. And talk about Pluto, like, what does Pluto have to do with it? Gosh, all right. Amen for that. Okay, well, he's one of my favorites, and I couldn't do this without putting him in here. And he's all about, destruction of the ego. I'm not saying that we should have an ego, but an ego that's just based on, self and ego, an ego that's just, not really serving, not really shining. And like he says, to shine before the Maya. And he wrote this beautiful, this is a little saying by Yogananda Natal, that beyond which there is nothing, which shines even above Maya, which again is superior to its effects, the universe, the innermost self of all, free of all differentiation, the real self, the existence, knowledge, bliss, and absolute, infinite, immutable. That's Brahman, art thou. Meditate on this in thy mind. So anyway, we're going to look at his chart a little bit, but I just like love him, you know. And another little thing he wrote, or big thing he wrote, was, let my soul smile through my heart and my heart smile through my eyes, that I might scatter rich smiles and sad hearts. The season of failure is the best time for sowing the seeds of success. Remain calm, serene, always in command of yourself. You will then find out how easy it is to get along. Like, that is just like, you know, I think I have to make this, like, hang this up. And he's just like so beautiful too. I just love this guy. But he has like such a big heart, and he lived in his heart, and he just was married to God. So he just wanted to remove suffering, you know. So that's Yogananda, and here's Yogananda's chart. So he's got Sun in the 5th, in Capricorn in the 5th, which is creation, right? He's another Capricorn, bringing this stuff down with his vitality, and his moon's in Leo in the 12th house. He's got, you know, Leo is Leo. So the exoteric, the ordinary chart, and the esoteric, the spiritual planets, are the same in Leo. And he's larger, his like life is like larger than life. It's transcended his chart even. So Pluto's conjuncting Neptune in Gemini in the MC with vision for the 10th house spiritual master and guru. His 9th house, he actually has the North Node in Capricorn. So it's a Capricorn Scorpio. I mean, a Capricorn Leo, a lot of these same kind of like signs that we're seeing are going on. The nodes are in Taurus to be grounded in the higher energies on Earth. Saturn is exalted in Libra in the 2nd. Mercury and Venus in Leo. Lots of fire energy in this. It's a fire chime. And the Mars and Jupiter in Aries in the 8th transforms the West with yoga. I mean, he just like brought this to like us Americans. And he's got Mercury conjunct Venus in Sag, Moon conjunct this Leo ascendant, and the element of fire, the mystic rectangle, and a grand cardinal cross. So I think he started and completed his mission here. He was a true pioneer, and the cardinal Aries quality of his teachings enlightened the West with yoga, and the Mercury conjunct Venus, his gentle expression, inspired many. The book called An Autobiography of a Yogi. So yeah, thank you, Yogananda. So that's that. Oh yeah, this is the big bear. I love this picture. So, okay, so, wait a minute here. See, okay, so we're gonna maybe flip around a little bit, but anyway, so, I'm gonna go here first. Sorry, guys. Major influences find their way from the faraway distant sources into our planetary life. So planets are the outer form of the deity's consciousness. So there's different centers and levels within the cosmos and within ourselves and within the worlds and within the galaxies. There's not just one, like there's chakras throughout the galaxies. So we're looking at a macro and a micro plane. But so the Great Bear, and this is the first ray, second ray is Ceres, and the third ray is Pleiades. And one of my esoteric acupuncture teachers used to say, you need to have 3, 4, and 5. Anything, you know, from 3 and 4 or 5, anything can be created from this, and this is all upper. Well, anyway, we just all came through this. So the rays are streaming down through the constellations, and then it's coming through the zodiac, and the rays are coming through from light rays, from sound vibration, from rays. That's why the sun, we want to soak up the sun. But then we have Vulcan, Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Neptune, and Uranus. And I know what you keep moving. Oh. Okay, this is not good. Okay, excuse me, guys. I'm just going the wrong way here. Okay. I should have had Linda share my screen. Okay, wait a second. Linda, how do I get back there?
Okay, Lauren, let's start again with the share. Just click on escape on your keyboard.
Okay.
Escape, top left-hand corner. Okay, now, no. Go back to the document, share it again.
Okay. Oh, wait, here, share screen.
Okay. In the bottom left-hand corner, click on the first icon.
Okay. See, I'm like learn as you go. Okay, wait.
Oh, okay, this is a little bit different. You're a Mac.
Oh, that's okay. I think I'm doing okay.
I think you should just leave that left-hand column visible so that you can go to wherever you want to.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good because I didn't
Yeah.
really organize it as much as I could with what's been going on. So
Okay.
is this all like being taped now?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's
all right.
okay.
So, okay, guys. So thanks for bearing with me here. So the Great Bear. So this is a really interesting chart I found, and I just loved it. And it almost looks like the Kabbalah, you know? Like, so all these things are like superimposed, kind of like they're all reiterating kind of the same information in an esoteric way. So Vulcan is Ray 1, and we're going to talk about Vulcan a little bit later too. I knew nothing about Vulcan until I decided to do this. And it has all the planetary logos, Sanat Kumara, the Buddha, the Christ Ray Soul. So this is just the hierarchy of the energies that come down that are way, way up there. Like they come down and you meditate and you only hope one day you can get something, you know? So then, so this is the picture that we were at before I got lost. So we have sacred and non-sacred planets. And so the non-sacred planets are planets where most people were functioning from the personality level. And the sacred planets were able to be in the higher octave, the higher frequencies like Venus and Mercury, but there are low ends of it, so it just depends, but they normally like to function that way on a higher, they're sacred. Where the non-sacred planets, they're gonna cause like upheaval, they're gonna cause places where we get stuck, they're gonna cause things we wish we didn't do or we wish we did do. So Pluto, Sun, Earth, Moon, and Mars, they are not sacred. So, okay, let's see. And here's just another chart, kind of reiterating it in another way. I think it's really kind of cool. And it's like when you look and study the chakras, there's all these chakras, but then there's so many more chakras. And this kind of is like, you know, follow the yellow brick road up there. So the second sacred planets are with our solar system. This is like kind of reiterating the 7 solar systems and the constellation of the Great Bear, the 7 Sisters, and the Sirius, the dog star. So that's our triad because they do a lot in triads, okay? And the 7 solar systems, which is ours. And then the 7 sacred planets, which is ours, is not one. And then the 5 non-sacred planets or hidden planets. So some planets might veil other planets. It's kind of confusing. The 7 planetary centers, and there's 7 centers of force in the human etheric body. And then there's 12 zodiacal constellations. And yeah, so let's move on. Just like this picture. And the 7 serpentines, so, you know, 777, you know, it's 7 solar systems, rays, chakras, 7 stars in the Great Bear, 7 sacred planets, 7 colors, 7 stars in Pleiades, and 7 planetary chakras, musical notes, planes of perception, endocrine glands, and the masters. Any questions? Okay. Planets are entities with their own rays and cycles, and eventually they will transform into sacred planets. So, so the rays actually take their own initiations as well, and they all have consciousness as well. And they need to take the 5th initiation to become a sacred planet. So these are electric magnetic energies that are being transmitted through the planets down. Okay. So let's see. Let's go a little bit. So here's, you know, what I was saying about the different cycles and initiations, and we have the Great Bear. Esoterically, we're concerned with the ascendant, the ruler, and then the ruler's energy. So, you know, Aquarius, Uranus. The 7 rays and their interrelations with the cosmic process, the 7 rays and the 12 signs of the zodiac, 7 rays and the 12 creative hierarchies, and the 7 rays and the planets as they govern the 12 houses of expression. So, okay, so we have 7 soul types, and we all live in duality is reality, right? We don't even need a reality show, right? Like, duality is reality. That's been my experience here. There's 7 kinds of personalities. So we are awakening the battle between the soul and the personality for higher calling. And I don't know about you all out there in reality land, but for me, I definitely have had, you know, I noticed that there's a little conflict going on a lot between my personality and my soul. And other times it's like the soul rules and reigns. But other time, my personality is just, you know, doesn't understand why is this my life. But if you're on the soul plane, you're like, aha, I totally get it. So we are in a process. We're moving into Aquarius from a Pisces age. And a lot of advanced souls are coming in with the 7th ray soul, and they vibrate at higher frequencies. And most of us, or any of us on a spiritual higher plane where the frequencies are a little bit more purified, we're having difficulty dealing with what's going on here on Earth and with current like governments and people in charge. You just pray to God that something, some miracle will happen, and you know, some eclipse might eclipse them to another universe. But anyway, so the signs are our spiritual needs and the dimensions of our evolutionary growth. The houses show the areas of life in which the sign seek expression and development, and they describe experiences and circumstances of everyday reality through which we learn the lessons of all 12 signs. The planets represent personality, function, or energies which initiate activities that bring learning experience. This helps for us to fulfill our potential, develop our consciousness, and it helps build our antakarana. So we really have to get out of the first few chakras, you know, and then we have the heart, and then, you know, but we really want to get up here. And we have to build this, and it's through meditation, it's through developing, you know, a lot of, you know, education. And we'll go into this more later on how we can grow and ascend, a little bit more on that later. Don't you just love this picture? I just love it. So this is interesting too, because we are human and we have an etheric body. The 4 centers above the diaphragm is the heart, throat, and anja, and the head centers. And this is how we receive energy. We're receiving stuff coming here. And the centers below the diaphragm is the spine, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the spleen centers. And these are galvanized into activity by the 4 higher receiving centers too. Now, when accomplished, this demonstrates a personality of physical magnetism. So when people are getting all these energies, we're like really just like shining, and we're just like we're electric magnetic energy, right? So we do struggle as humans with our conflict of our emotions that are lower nature. In our higher centers is a battle between the soul and the personality. They influence us until the time comes where there's a reversal in the way of passing as the soul around the zodiac, from Aries to Pisces, instead of reverse movement from Aries to Taurus. So symbolizes a revolution around, what does this say here? Around the sun, yeah. Does anybody have any questions yet? I don't think there's that many people on today, but so anyways, the purpose of the soul is to transform the personality. And I don't really remember where I heard this, but I love it. Think with your heart and feel with your mind. Align. So there are 2 elements that are connected with the thought of purification, and it's fire, it's water and fire. And fire always carries forward esoterically that which water has begun. So it's very necessary that we have this alchemy going on, and we have our emotions, and we have our personality, and we have polarity, I guess, until we decide to like get on the same team, you know? So let's see. Okay. So the ascendant is spiritual direction. It rises at the east. So it's important in esoteric astrology that we live in a higher quality of the ascendant's energies. That will welcome us to the gateway of the soul right there. So whenever we can be in our higher end of the energy instead of the lower end, we're on the path. You know, we're on the path. And the ascendant does hold the secret to the future. It indicates our soul's life purpose, and the soul will work out its purpose. So this will indicate how the soul will work out its purpose. So, yeah, so, okay, so on the personality. Okay, so the destiny is, I don't even know what I put here. I can't even think straight. But the esoteric soul ruling planets represents the harmony aspects of life and the correct relationship between the soul and the personality. The sun is the present. So when we're living in the present, our sun is like being activated, and it's just like our vehicle to express our emotions, to live our soul through. But our ascendant is really what we came here to do, or to experience, or to be. So there's three lights. Sun represents the personality. The problem in life is the ego. So it is the sun. So we do need to shine so we can carry forth. So we have to really work on ourselves in this lifetime, you know. And each lifetime, the sun will be different. Each lifetime. I used to think that we would have 7 lifetimes is the same, but I think it's more like the ascendant that stays the same, and the sun sign changes, so we can have, you know, have a little buffet here. And it'll be the sign in which our physical death was in. So whatever sign that was going on when we passed this earthly realm, that's what our next sun will be. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, the moon. So we all know this is where our soul, it's like the prison of the soul. So many times, at least for me, I have a lot of water in my chart, a lot of fire and water. But I get stuck in the water or in the ice. The prison of the soul is our karmic patterns and our, it's where we're stuck. It's the last incarnation. It's the path of least resistance. It's where we're limited. It's where our securities, if we feel secure or insecure. It's our emotions. It's our unconscious, our habits, our behaviors. It's our past scars. And it's just like a dead body. So it only reflects the light of the sun. So it's very karmic in nature, and it does kind of govern the physical body. And like I said, I do think before our physical body feels anything, we get it in the etheric, then we get it in our emotional, and then we get it in our physical. So if we can clear something before it gets something worse, that's a really good thing. But if we're not awake, we just get sick because people are not paying attention. So we really want a purification of the astral imprint. Emotional astral plane is where we experience most conflict, unhinged intelligence of our lower nature. Okay, so Uranus is the 7th ray. A revelation in order. It awakens our mind, upheaval of universal truth. Okay, so I'm just talking about a little bit here about the outer planets, because this is what really gets our inner planets and our own soul going. Because there's nothing we can do. We're powerless when this happens. And, you know, Uranus will be some kind of quick something happening. Neptune is where we experience the mystical realms, oneness, also idealism, glamours, delusion of, you know, illusions. We have self-deception, addiction, idealism, but it's also cosmic oneness. And then we have Pluto, the ray 1, which is the destroyer, which is death, transformation, rebirth, unconscious, underworld, deeper side of humanity. Okay. Here, excuse me for 1 minute. Any questions? Retrograde? Yeah.
Sorry. Should we go to a break soon? We'd have a 15-minute break. Would you like one? Would you like to start it now or after any of these slides?
What? Oh, is this on the tape recorder too?
Yes, it's okay.
Well, if you guys have to take one now, we could take one now. I have a lot of slides, so.
All right. So you'll be coming back to this slide. Let's all take a break. We'll be back here in 15 minutes.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, we're back.
Hey, hi everybody. We're back on track. So, yeah. So when you have retrograde planets in your natal chart, or even when we're all going through retrograde, like what does it have to do with it now, you guys? Like, do we have enough retrograde planets going on right now? So, you know, retrogrades are like a dance we're all doing, right? We're going to back step, we're going to front step, we're going to tap dance. You know, we're going to see like, what do we need to get right? What do we need to revisit? And it could even be different lifetimes that we're here. Like maybe Jeffrey Green brought this in from another lifetime, his South Node, right? So retrogrades are what we need to fix, or what we want to get, what we can get correct. And this is my understanding of it. I mean, but it is when planets are opposite the sun and conjunct the earth, that's like when we'll have it in retrograde. And outer planets will have an retrograde when the outer planets catch up to earth. So look to see when it goes direct. Okay, so if you're born with some personal planets that are retrograde, look in an ephemeris, because a lot of people don't do this. And it's so important, because when this energy shifts, or even in a progressed chart, if your Mercury, let's say, goes in a progression state and it was direct all this time, you know, someone's saying ABC and they're listening to XYZ, and they're understanding XYZ and you're talking in ABC. So have you guys ever had that happen where you're just like on totally different trains? You just don't get it. So what is the soul's purpose? And is it a time to be more reflective, you know? So a lot of times the third time is a charm. It's just back and forth, let the door hit you again. So, but hopefully, you know, you might get like a burst of the energy, and then it'll go back and you'll get it again. And then by the third time, you're just like, you know, you're parasailing, you know, you just like, you know how to do it now. So that's my understanding of it. Does anybody have any? Shanti? Okay. Okay, so let's see, where am I? Retrograde station, okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is about Vulcan, and like, I didn't even know about Vulcans until I started like, you know, really digging in the dirt here and learning more about it. And wow, I was just like, Vulcan, isn't it from Star Trek? Okay, I gotta get something for my dog, you guys. Can you please pause this for 1 minute? I'm so sorry, Linda. Okay, so I thought Vulcan was just from Star Trek, right? But no, Vulcan, okay, it's like an invisible planet, or hidden, like we haven't discovered it, and it's felt on the etheric, okay, only. And it's within the orbit of Mercury, and it's 8 degrees from the sun. So this hidden planet, so they say, this is, you know, esoteric astrology's theories, or what they say, and to me it kind of does resonate in a way, because so it illuminates ether into form, and it's a first ray energy, just like Aquarius, like, you know, the rays of Uranus and the age that we're, you know, on the, we're starting into. And it destroys attachments to form. It purifies the consciousness when it's felt esoterically, and it strengthens spiritual will, purges, and it helps with fear. It makes us fearless. So yeah, when you just like meditate and you guys go to that place, it's like you could feel it, you know? Okay, so this is hypothetically a planet that is supposed to exist. Somebody did discover it. His name was Urbain Le Verrier. And this was in the 19th century. A French mathematician discovered it. that they propose to exist in an orbit between Mercury and the Sun, and attempting to explain peculiarities of Mercury's orb. So that's the planet Vulcan. Okay, so now here, everything's kind of in triad, and when you think about it, when you have a gateway or a gate, there's like, it's the Sun, Moon, Ascendant, okay? So the top is the Ascendant. That's how we get back to our oneness with the Creator or the monad, or, and what's on top? The Sun, right? What are we getting? The rays from the Sun are coming down. We are getting light and vibration and sound from up above is coming down, even if we don't always hear it. So the soul, karmic imprints, emotions, and the personality ego, which we know. And I'm just drawing it out in another way. We kind of covered this, but like I said, it's a lot of information to digest. And so here, so on the cardinal cross, this is Jupiter. It's ruled by Jupiter, and it's on top of the pyramid. So it's energy going up. So this is where we have realization and we synthesize it. So sometimes we can get information and we're not able to synthesize it. It's just there and we don't know how to take it in or digest it. So, but Mercury will be the planet that's in charge of that. And Saturn is the fixed cross energy, and it's about opportunity and readjustment. And Mercury is the mutable cross, experience and change. Well, that makes sense to me. So let's see what comes next. Yay, the rays. Okay, so pretty much the planets in the rays of ray 1 is willpower, and that's by Pluto and Vulcan. Will and power. Ray 2 is Sun and Jupiter. Love and wisdom. It's like the empath or the teacher. That's basically, the symbols for this. And then Ray 3 is Saturn and the Earth. The thinker, the planner. It's more in the mental. Ray 4, Mercury and the Moon, the artist, harmony through conflict. Venus is the scientist, the study of nature, is Ray 5. And esoterically, I think it's Gemini too. So like they're kind of like, you might see a Gemini, but it's really the higher end of Gemini is Venus. Like who would even think, right? So, and there's like other things we can go into more later, but this is enough. Ray 6 is Neptune and Mars. So that would be like the devotee or Bhakti, the religious type. Ray 7 is Uranus, the magician, somebody who can pull it all together. It's like, So, any questions? Okay, so here we go again, just trying to break it down. So I believe the 7 rays are the missing link in astrology. The planets are simply vehicles for these energies. They're transmitted through the Earth. They're transmitting them to the Earth via the zodiac, whose signs have specific resonance with the rays. So if there's like a frequency coming down, we'll have a receptor for it. If, you're a Scorpio, you'll be able to get this. If you're a Leo, you're going to get this energy, high end or low end. But somebody else might not be able to pick up the energy. So the planets and the rays, we talked about that. The sacred planets and the non-sacred planets. Let's see, we're going to go through some of this stuff, and other stuff we're going to skip through, so we can not be here all night. But okay, so there's very many levels and multi-dimensions that we are vibrating and being affected by this. And it affects our, through the planets, colors, chakras, the jewels of the 7 rays. So the diamond would be like Pluto and Vulcan. Well, that makes sense, right? Pluto, like round, earthquakes, really, it'll change something into something diamond. Well, it might be very difficult energy, but boy, it's the toughest, diamond is the toughest stone there is out there, right? So that's our crown and pineal, the chakras. It's a red color, a red ray, and it's ray 1, will and power. Love and Wisdom, Ray 2, is Sun and Jupiter. Indigo, it's our heart and our thymus, and it's sapphire. Ray 3 is Active Intelligence, Earth, Saturn, green, throat, thyroid, emerald. So if you're resonating a lot with that. So Ray 4, Harmony through Conflict, and that's the Moon and Mercury, yellow. Base adrenals, jasper. Ray 5 is the Concrete Science, Venus, orange. It's our third eye and a pituitary, and it's topaz. And Ray 6 is Abstract Idealism, Neptune and Mars, sky blue, solar plexus, pancreas, and that's the stone ruby. And Ray 7 is a ceremonial order ruled by Ray 7, which is Uranus, violet, sacral gonads, in the amethyst. So colors are according to exoteric and esoteric viewpoints. So there's a different harmonic vibration. And so when I say exoteric, it means ordinary meanings of the planets in everyday life, like normal astrology. For esoteric astrology, it'll be the esoteric rulers. And the chakra assignments, they vary too on sacred and non-sacred, except for Venus and Uranus. And for the disciples and initiates, the sacred planets rule, except for Pluto, which rules the base. And let me see what I wrote here, because these things are in the way. And I can't read the bottom thing. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so the whole subject is extremely intricate, which we all know already. So let's see where we are here. So I'm not going to go into all the chakras. You guys can watch this later if you want and stop it, because there's so much, you know. But these are the vocations. So if you're, let's say, Ray 1 would be a politician, will or power, right? The occultist, the leader, explorer, a manager, a dictator. Ray 2 is love and wisdom. These are the teachers and the healers and the sages. They serve, they're scholar, they're philanthropists and humanists. Ray 3 is active intelligence, philosophy, the philosophers, organizers, astrologers, economic and historian and business. Ray 4 is harmony through conflict, artists, meditators, architects, poets, psychologists, and musicians. Ray 5 is a concrete science, researchers, alchemists, engineers, inventors, and technicians. And devotion, ministers. Okay, Ray 6 is devotion, ministers, mystics, missionaries, devotees, orators, crusaders, and zealots. Ray 7 is a ceremonial order, builders, administrators, designers, revolutionary, magician, and esoterics. So these are the vocations that you'll see associated with this. Now, yes, so we have dual expression of the 7 rays. So Ray 1, which is will and power, purpose and destruction. So persistent, never gives in, depends upon others. Type B is destroys conditions which prevent free expression of life. It's kind of like Pluto, right? If it's not serving the highest good, it will be demolished. It will be steamrolled away, whatever Pluto's going to do. Ray 2, love, wisdom, is inclusive coherence of magnetism. So type A is the magnetic radiance, sharing, compassionate, empathic, loving, and understanding. And type B will be emphasis on wisdom, not knowledge, and dispassionate understanding. So it's more of a detached kind of view on things because you've already dissipated from that. Ray 3 is active intelligence, adaptability, creativity. And type A would be the philosopher, emphasis on abstract ideas, or the theorists. And type B is business, extremely practical, manipulative, and gamemanship. And Ray 4 is harmony through conflict, beauty, unity, sensitivity. And type A is the ability to bring harmony from conflict, sensitive to discord, and it's a mediator. sounds awful like Venus or Libra to me, right? And type B part is colorful character, strong contrast, artist, volatile, tends to force. The dual expression for Ray 5 is concrete science, analytical minds, analysts. Okay, so type A is a researcher, clarity, they're able to accurately and document things. Type B is a technician, applies technical intelligence, practical and applications. Ray 6, devotion or abstract idealism. Persistence is type A is very passionate and loyal and receptive, very worshipful guy. It's very gentle influence. Type B is fiery, zeal, devoted, striving towards ideals, strong aspirations, and it can be aggressive. Ray 7 is ceremonial order again, group magic, and organization, and it's highly organized. They play by the rules. They're very meticulous in their action. They're very meticulous, and they know exactly what they want to do. They have the bullseye. Their emphasis is on creative process and manifest ideas into forms. So if anybody has any questions, just feel free. So, so pretty much there's also the virtues and the vices of the same ones. And so let's see, let's come back to this because I think this is going to be on another slide somewhere later. Okay. Oh yeah, we're making progress, you guys, so we can have questions and answers if you'd like. So this is the Antakarana, and it's the rainbow bridge of the soul to the personality. So this to me is like Chiron. Chiron is our sacred inner teacher. And it's service to, okay, so there's 3 pillars to building our Antakarana. And this is so cool too, because I know this because when I was in an esoteric astrology course in Colorado, our teacher, I was learning esoteric astrology where we put sacred geometry gateways. We open up kind of gateways with needles, very, very light needles in the body. So we almost do geometric forms to open up gateways so you can receive the energies more. And I had this session. It was so cool. I had literally went to this past life. I don't know where I was. And it was totally amethyst. And I mean, it was just really a cool thing. I can't even tell you what it meant, but it was like a dream. You were there, but you can't really talk about it kind of thing. So, so this is the Antakarana, and it's our direct connection where we could just channel the energy or be with our monad. It's like a part of us all has this, and it's up there with our creator. And then we come down here and we do whatever we do, but a lot of times we get lost and we get disconnected. So if we can clear mental floss, inertia, and passivity, we can build this. And part of the things that really help build the Antakara is service to humanity, study and knowledge, and meditation. Stay on the path, guys. Please stay on the path. To build the Antakarana is highly accelerated, intense mental activity. And it's a dynamic power to imagine and to visualize, plus highly dramatic attempts to pictorially build the lighted way in mental substance. So if you're really good, you can just you could think your way into it. You can really just make it happen by, being in your higher realms and just being where you want to be. You don't even have to leave the house. I know this is going to be out there for a lot of people, but I'm sure if you're on this call or this workshop, it's not going to be that crazy for you. So our dimension is also kind of ruled by a hierarchy of the angels. And we're not going to really go into that a lot, but a little bit. So archangels, rays, and chakras. So I did put the angels in. Okay, yeah. To align your chakras, you guys, this is something we can do every night. Like if you want to do a meditation or, write about it every night, align your chakras over a period of 7 nights. And I would do it on the nights that, go with the day. So, like the solar plexus might be Mars, or, so you might want to do it on a Tuesday night, something like that. So as you go to sleep, you just want to visualize the associated color with a specific chakra pouring into that specific, the specific ray energy and the colors and like, you know, the higher end of what can be spinning in the chakra. And you could just imagine it spinning or maybe mixing with more than one color or whatever you want to do, you can create your own. I once like did this in the shower where I had to clean my chakras out. Really, it was weird, but okay. So the root chakra is Archangel Uriel, right? Vices, softful. Let me just like take a drink of something here. Hang on. Does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm going to stop asking that, and if you guys do, just please chime in. So Archangel Uriel, and that is vice, or is being kind of slothful. The virtue is diligence, and grace is the piety or humble devotion. Sacral is pure white ray, Archangel Gabriel, and greed would be the vice, and temperance is the virtue, and grace would be the knowledge. The knowledge would be grace. So the solar plexus is the golden ray of Archangel Raphael. And this is wrath would be vice, and virtue would be patience, grace, and wisdom. The crown is violet ray Archangel Johiel, and the vice is pride, the virtue is humility, and it's the wonder of the awe of Lord. And that's the crown chakra. The third eye is blue indigo ray Archangel Michael, and this is envy would be the vice, virtue is kindness, and the grace is understanding or discernment. The throat is a pale blue ray Archangel Zedekiah, and gluttony would be the vice. Virtue, charity, and the grace is consult. So like if your throat is blocked or you have issues with your throat chakra, or your thyroid, or you know, you could tend to have some of these issues. Just for an example. So the heart was going to be a pink ray, which is Archangel Shamal. I guess I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Shamal. And it's lust, vice, virtue, chastity, and grace is fortitude or courage. Yeah, I really just like looking at this picture makes me feel good, you know, like, wow, I just think this stuff's amazing. So here's something else we could do, you guys, and then we'll have time to talk about things because I think we're almost done. So the great invocation, and this is from the point of light. I'm sure everybody's heard it, but I'm going to say it. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love in the heart of God, let love stream forth into the heart of men. May Christ return to earth from the center where the will of God is known. Let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evils dwell. Let life, love, and power restore the plan on earth. Wow. Yeah, so that's like amen. And I think that was by, was that by Elvis Bailey or Blavatsky? I have to check who made this. I forgot, but I will try to get it. I should know that, you guys. But like I said, I haven't even had time to get this presentation together because of the computer problem. So please forgive some of the imperfections. Okay, so here we have just the rays and us and the lights and how we're one with everything. And the key is just to be with what is. And my understanding is to be with it. Don't judge it. Don't let it define you. Don't stay stuck too long with it, but, you know, understand it. And just keep moving on, you know, like stay on the path. And here, I've started a website, but it's not up yet. It's called brightlightastrology.com. So I'm trying to like kind of get this going. And then my other astrology website is Into the Light. It's not astrology, Into the Light acupuncture.com. So here is the, you guys could write this down or you can get it later. It's the test, which you can go and take a little test and it'll show you what rays are prominent in your makeup. So it's pranaworld.net, which of the 7 rays are you? So yay, amen. Do you guys have any questions?
Good work, Lauren. Fantastic. So much information. Wow. Well, thank you for, sharing your understanding of these things. I'm sure we've all learned bits and pieces of this stuff before, but you brought it all together into one Zoom meeting. So thank you for that. I'm just going to go over to Prana World now and work out my ray. Does everyone have one ray? One ray or more?
Oh, you have more rays. So like
Oh, okay.
your soul ray will be like, I've had like, my personality might be ray 6, but my soul might be ray 2 or ray 7. And you can have mixed rays sometimes. So
Okay.
yeah, it's very interesting.
What we can do, if you like, we can pause the meeting, go and work out our rays and come back.
Yeah, we could do that too. I mean, yeah, go do that. I mean, I did mine, but I didn't keep it. But yeah, you could do that. Or if people just want to, we can just call it a day. If you guys want to have a little talk about it.
What does everyone want to do?
Yeah, because I know this is a lot. I didn't even know how to like break this down. So I just like tried my best because it's like, there's so much more, you guys, but this is just, I think, a good start.
Is the rays test like a very long test?
No, not, maybe medium.
Maybe we should do it later.
Yeah, I mean.
So what is your soul ray?
Well, I think I'm a couple, but I think my soul is 2 and maybe 7, a little bit. And I think my personality is 6. I don't remember what I got, so I'm going to actually take it again. But, a lot of times we're a combination of a lot of things. I don't think we're just one ray. And this is what got me into it. When I first started astrology, I took a ray class with this guy, David Burr, and his wife's a big, famous past life regression therapist. And it's a very interesting class, and all these like things, it was like over my head at the time because I didn't really know as much as I do now, but it was really amazing. And now I'm able to kind of put it more together. And I think in one lifetime, you can go through like different rays. You'll be different at different times. Yeah, but I think there is a predominant, like Linda, you're like maybe a lot of 7th too, maybe you have 7th, I think, you were able to do all this editing and creating this Zoom, and you're really good at books, all the things, the beautiful things you do and hold for our community. So we're on the path, you guys, and I think we need to, it's not always easy, because I'll tell you what, I was a lot happier when I didn't know anything, okay? Because it's not always easy to be on the path. I don't know if you guys feel this way or not. I certainly think if I wasn't on the path, I'd probably be traveling around the world with the love of my life, just not caring about anything bigger than myself, right? But those things didn't seem to work out, and this is what's coming through. So, maybe God has a special plan for me that I can't see, and we just show up every day and I pray for what's next, because every day we're trying to shift into like our higher version of who we are. I mean, at least I am. I mean, I just can't, it's like sometimes you trade your car in, it's like we don't really have to get a new body sometimes. We just have to get a new perspective, So I don't thank everyone for listening. And
okay. Any questions?
I had one, not exactly sure how to word it, but the ascendant, you said that is our, that's our life path. Is that, I don't know, is that because of, since it's the entry point into this incarnation?
Yes, because
it's the beginning point?
Yeah, it's the east, or the direction of east, and it's what our soul's intent is. It's what our soul came here to do. So, usually the soul and the personality has 2 different like ideas of what life's going to be about. Until one day you could bring it all together. It's really great if you can be happy with, if your soul, your personality, and you can get your astral plane and your emotions kind of healed and cleared. And you really need your sun to do this. But through our ascendant, we're going to even that's our answer too. That's how we're going to work our way through this thing called life, as Prince would say. You know, so yeah, it's the ascendant, it's our rising sign, it's who we're becoming. It's our soul's intent. And this is esoteric.
Right. So which one is if that's the soul's intent,
Is that,
then
I'm sorry, what?
since the ascendant is the soul's intent, which one is because you mentioned the personality. So what's the
That's the
personality?
sun. Here, let me, yeah, I
Ah.
think I have these things right here too. I can go right back to them. So I had to do this because, the sun is right too, the moon, I don't even put the rays on. Anyway, the ascendant and the moon, you guys, this took me a long time. But anyway, okay, so we need all three. They're all important because we have to have hardship and emotions to ascend. So we need to go through the fire, it's hard work sometimes, but you need to shine and to be able to do your soul's ascendant. So if you're stuck in the moon or you're heartbroken, you're not going to do very much. Life is not going to be working until you can heal, and you need to shine to be able to do it. So a lot of times our sun and our personality is our biggest enemy, because it's like we're stuck in our stuff. I mean, I've been there for a long time. People have witnessed it. But there comes a time where we have to try to detach from the story, not be defined by it, because we are bigger than that. That's our soul. And it's like Jeffrey Green says, it's natural law. It's our belief in something that maybe we can't always put words into. But that's why life is long. Like you live your life, you're not the same person you came here as. We go through our things, and sometimes we're driving a Corvette, and sometimes we're driving, we're not even driving, we're walking, and other times we're just taking a plane. So, like, I just think everything kind of has its own purpose, and regardless of how we feel about it, I don't really think the soul cares. It doesn't care what we want. It doesn't give us what we want. It's until we want what we have, and then we can be doing God's will. It's about doing God's will and being an instrument of higher vibration. And that's what my take is on it. I mean, other people might think this is a bunch of, but my life's experience has pretty much brought me to this place, So I hope that clears it a little bit. And then so what they're saying is on this other one is like, okay, so when we're here, like we all have like different patterns in our charts, right? Where did that go? Okay. So the cardinal cross, when you have cardinal initiation, like if you're South Node, if you have a cardinal cross or grand cross in your chart, or a T-square, anything cardinal, you're going to be getting it going in this lifetime if it's in the first house. It's just the cardinal thing. It's like your soul came here to do it. It's Jupiter wants you to teach it. You're a teacher for the world. Saturn, it's the father of time, right? It's the fixed cross. Like when you have Saturn, you're fixed, nothing's moving, okay? Until, you do something with the opportunity and you readjust. Like, well, once I couldn't even do a workshop, right? Linda, I canceled, right? Maybe now I'm doing a workshop, So I'm adjusting to maybe not feeling comfortable or not being great at it right off the bat, but I'm readjusting, and then there's an opportunity to do something from my heart, from my soul, to give to the world, And then Mercury, the mutable, people who are on the mutable cross, they're just all about experience and change. They don't really integrate all that sometimes, but we need Mercury, and actually, Mars is the higher, okay, so in esoteric astrology, it's just like Mars and Aries, they're all the same, or Pluto, Mercury and Gemini, it's just, they're the same. So when it's a mutable thing, sometimes Mercury is the messenger, right? It's, Hermes Trijust, Trijustum, I don't know if I could say his name, but you know who he is. He's the messenger of the gods. So we need all of these things. And we're just all on, you know, a plan, you know, we're all on a path here to work out our life and hopefully help each other on the way, you know. So it's kind of really deep stuff, big stuff. It's just a lot of people probably wouldn't even understand what we're talking about. So anybody else? Come on, you guys. Don't be shy.
I was going to ask, do you have any like tools, or did you ever work with like the chakras and colors and like the tones of, I guess, like, yeah, like notes on the musical scale plus colors plus a certain one?
Yeah, I'm actually a healer, and I have tuning forks that are attuned to the planets, and they're also attuned to colors. And we could, like, yeah, I do this all the time. And because we, you know, oh, what was that?
That was my phone. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
It's a message. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so what I'm just saying is, like, there's things like the sun. It's like shining down the rays, but we're only going to pick up the rays that we have receptors for. So, but that's why I use tuning forks, and sometimes I do hands-on for the physical realm, and for, like, if I'm going to heal somebody out here on the astral plane, and you don't even want to do hands-on, or you just want to do tuning forks, or so we can be connected to the bigger picture or to our higher self. Or sometimes in trauma, because I have Chiron in the first house, I'm, you know, I become this major healer, or I was a healer in another life. So I came here to heal myself and share with others on a bigger scale. So I use multiple dimensional healing because we have to heal on all realms to become aligned. You just don't become aligned, you know? Our brains don't even take in light. The nerves are crossed in our head. So we don't even see straight. There's so much Maya going on that until you can break through, until you can break through, what's the word, the stratosphere, or, like, you know, and if you do something, like, I've had some things happen where, you know, on shamanic journeys and things that kind of made the kundalini or helped you have, you know, fast track to enlightenment. It's like really crazy because it's really hard to ground the energy when that happens. But yes, of course. So people can take water, or you can eat foods that are the right colors. Let's say you're not feeling secure or confident. Eat orange or eat yellow, or, you know, you want to get in the higher. You eat all the different colors that are food that actually is natural food that has the rays of the sun in it. Because if you're eating foods that are of a low vibration, you're going to be vibrating very dull. You're not going to be this shining star that you could be, because you really want to put in like high energy vibration, emotionally, mentally, physically. So you can, like, wear colors. Like, I'm wearing blue right now because I need to talk. I have a blockage issues in my life with not being seen or heard. With my throat chakra, right? So a fear of talking, or maybe being killed in another life because of it, or not being believed your whole life. So by wearing blue, that's going to strengthen my throat, my chakra, and my energy, because it's going to help me. Like, you know, like, and then this is going to help me because it's like lights, colors. So yeah, you know what I mean? Or you could even take water and you could put it in the sunlight, and you can, there's like so many things you can do, but we're hungry for these colors sometimes. So wherever you think you're lacking or you're not balanced, you can try to wear that color, or, you know, you want to sun gaze a little bit. You want to get, the sun has everything in it. It's like God of the Ra, right? It's the sun god. So does it make sense, Cameron?
Yes, perfect sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. And herbs too. Herbs are really important.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know you're studying that. That's why I said it.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you.
Oh, appreciate you too. I just wish we could be like you when we were young.
Yeah, I don't know how I got like this slightly.
Trust me. We do.
So, Lauren, I just did my Ray test.
Oh, you did? How
I
was
did.
it?
Ray 2,
Yes.
Ray of Love and Wisdom. You have Ray 2, the ray of tact and foresight. You will make an excellent ambassador and a first-rate teacher or a head of a college. You have clear intelligence and wisdom in dealing with matters which come before you, and you will have the capacity of impressing true views of things on others and of making them see things as you do. Good businessman, plan wisely, intuition. All your work will have meaning and you will try to reach through your work as much as possible. Makes sense?
Yeah. So your overall ray is that it just makes sense to me.
I love
sounds-
that. It's really good. Okay,
Yeah,
so you must be pretty tired. Do we have any final questions or comments?
I am. Anybody?
Okay.
Could you go back to that? Could you go back to that screen one more time, the prana ray light, so I can get to the link
Which one?
where it had the.
For prana test, prana world. The last slide. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Yeah.
Okay, prana world.
It takes so long too because you're busy researching and you're like, oh, you want to add this, I want to add that. And then there's
All
all
right,
these
thank
other
you.
dimensions. So we could do some later, but if we don't understand just the basics, we're not going anywhere. Like there's like on the discipleship path and, it's just stuff that's kind of not really out there. But like I said, it's esoteric for the new age. And hopefully, when we get out of where we're at, it's going to take a long time. We're like in between, like twilight zone, like where it's not day and not night. So we're kind of passing into this new place. But the more we can get ourselves aligned and happy and in a good place, the better the world will be. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for everything you brought to us today. And I really felt some, higher power speaking. So thank you very much. Would you all please thank Lauren Pitasch, everyone, for a beautiful presentation.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Lauren.
it.
That was wonderful. Can't
Thank
wait
you
to look into it more.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.